The room went dim, the screen lit white. 1,000 shadows tucked from sight. I sat beside you, close, unsure, with words I thought could feel mature. The silence hummed the moment near, a perfect space to lose the fear. But just before I caught my cue, you leaned and laughed with someone new. You didn't know what I had planned. My voice half formed, still in my hand. And as you turned to someone else, I disappeared into myself. I missed the chance, I lost the frame. The line I held won't sound the same. You found your laugh with someone near, while I just blinked and stayed unclear. Too slow to speak, too loud to fade. My silence held the mess I made. And though I sat right at your side, the light fell wrong, the words all died. You whispered low, the glow just right. Your shoulders curved in perfect light. And I just stared at my own hands, still full of all the half-built plans. I didn't mean to stay so still, but courage bends against the will. And while your laughter filled the room, I shrank into the quiet gloom. You didn't hear the almost dead, the almost you still in my head. And now the reel spins on and on, while I pretend I'm moving on. I should have reached, I should have tried, but instead I watched you from the side. You found your scene, your subtle line, and left no space to make it mine. The dark was kind, the chance was wide, but I mistook the when to slide. And now the light begins to glow, too late to whisper, too well to show. Some moments don't rewind or wait, they pass in silence, seal your fate. And when you laugh, just not with me, I learn what almost means to be. The words I held were never heard, they fell beneath your chosen word. And though I sat so close, so still, you filled your silence with your thrill. So next time shadows start to fall, I won't pretend to stand so tall. You spoke, you laughed, just not with me, and that's the line that sets me free. Seat reshuffled, rows rewired, new names called, new paths inspired, and just like that you took the place, one step from mine to nearest space. Your desk now brushes next to mine, same page, same time, the same outline. But morning came and slipped on through, without a word, without a cue. You said good morning down the line, to everyone except the side. And though I sat within your breath, your greeting skipped me like a step. You're close enough to hear me blink, but never close enough to think that maybe I deserve your tone. A single word, a glance alone. You say hello like it's routine, to others caught in morning sheen. But I, the one just 1 foot near, remain the name you never hear. We share the same fluorescent light, the same old jokes, the same old fight, but still you face the other way like I'm not part of any day. I count the stars you never send, the silence you don't even bend, and in this space we both now share, I vanish deeper in the air. No reason why, no open feud, just silence shaped in quiet mood, and all the words I don't receive became the reasons why I grieve. Your inches close but miles far, a neighboring but distant star, and though I hope the shift would bring at least your voice, at least one thing. You talk to them with ease and tone, but leave my world an empty zone. And I, the one who's next to you, became the ghost you never knew. Some silences don't scream or bite, they just erase you from the light. And though we sit in side by side, you never looked, you never tried, you never said that quiet word, but still its absence always burned. And now I learn what close can mean, a world apart with deaths between. So here I sit and here you stay, two names in one attendance tray, but I don't get your morning tone, just empty air I call my own. The classroom glowed in subtle light. The day began, the world felt right. He stood beside the window pane, laughing through the window rain. I stepped inside with quiet breath, my voice too light to dodge its death. A single word, good morning, tossed, but in the noise it just got lost. No answer, no, I was caught. My greeting vanished into thought, and though I stood, my shoes were real. I faded more than I could feel. Good morning sank into the breeze like paper lost among the trees. Not wrong, not cruel, just not received. A silence I had not believed. He laughed with someone loud and clear, while I walked past like air too near. And though I spoke, it didn't stay, just folded into break of day. The chair was cold, the desk too still. The morning climbed against my will. I didn't blame, I didn't cry, but something trembled deep inside. One word, one look, one glance my way could have turned the sky less gray, but all I got was second skin, invisible, erased again. You didn't mean to let it slide, but I still watched from other side, and in that joy I didn't share, my voice dissolved into the air. Good morning never reached a name, and somehow I still felt the same, like background noise and color scenes, a pause between the in-betweens. He smiled so wide, the light was gold, but none of it was mine to hold. So I just sat and wore the day like something time forgot to say. You can speak and still not land, like waves that never touch the sand. And even when the word is true, it fades if no one listens through. I spoke, I stood, I tried to shine, but lost between the clock and line. And though he laughed a world away, I still began with hi today. So maybe next time I'll be seen between the glass, the in-between. But for today I'll hold this tone. Good morning, softly said alone. tone that travels straight into my bone. And though I stood a step aside, my heartbeat answered amply flooded. It's not for me, it never is, yet every word still feels like this. A thread that pulls without consent, a fire spark from accident. You didn't speak my name at all, but I still felt my heartbeat stall, just from the way your voice took flight, as if it held my name too tight. And that's what makes it hurt the most, that even ghosts can feel this close. I hate that tone, that rise, that cue still makes me think you meant me too. I overplay each syllable you toss away. The sound of you not meant to stay still lingers in the dumbest way. You never meant for me to hear, but I still pull you close then fear the truth. It's just the springtime sound that shakes me when you're not around. How do I mute the parts of me that flinch like they were meant to be? Your voice is not a bullet's pace, but still it strikes with perfect grace. You spoke to someone else, not mine, but still my pulse ran out of line. It's not your fault, it's all on me, this heart that bends so easily. I hate the way it lights a spark just from a voice that missed its mark. I wish I didn't want the sound, but now I chase it all around. Chest in silence burned, but every time the wind repeats, I brace for joy and get defeat. Your voice was never sent my way, it still in colors every day. And though I try to let it pass, it wraps around me like the grass. So next time springtime carries sound, I'll try to plant my feet in ground and train my heart to not believe that every call is meant for me. The ground was dry, the fall was fast. A sting that echoed didn't last. Shoes scraped noise, the sky grew wide. My knee wore red, I couldn't hide. They gasped, they turned a dozen eyes. The static filled with scattered tries, but through it all just one stood still. No reaching hand, no shattered will. He didn't flinch, he didn't blink, just stared like I'd slid past the brink. And though the pain was skin and dust, it was his silence that I trust. He didn't move, not even once. No steps, no words, no second glance. And in that freeze, I felt it clear, the kind of hurt that hides in fear. The blood will dry, the bruise will fade, but not the look he never made. He stayed too far, and that was loud, a wound he drew without a sound. It wasn't hate, it wasn't cold, but something distant took its hold. Like I was part of scenery, not someone worth his gravity. 1,000 steps he didn't take, the gap he let me feel and break. And in that moment, small and torn, the space between us was reborn. He didn't turn, he didn't stay, just let the silence walk away. And now the sting's not in the fall, but in the fact he missed it all. He saw me there, but chose the space, a moment my place, a window seat, 2 rows behind, too far to meet. You had your headphones in, hello, a rhythm only you could know. But then you smiled and took one out for someone else, no room for doubt. You didn't scan the crowd or turn, just met their gaze with quiet burn. And though I sat within your light, you never looked my way that night. Same train, same eye sway, but I was just a breath away. You laughed for them not knowing me, and that was all it had to be. No eye contact, no missed hello, just lights that passed in shadows slow. And even though we shared the track, your world kept drifting forward back. Shoulder shaking grin, the kind you save for those within. And though I wasn't part of that, I wore the moment like a hat, pretending just to check my phone while feeling more and more unknown. The gap was small but wide as glass between your now and where I sat. I know you never saw me there, no reason why you'd even care, but still I wish just for a spark that you'd glance up and find the mark. Same car, same time, same silver bars, but I stayed orbiting your stars, invisible but still in line with someone else's storyline. You laughed, you leaned, you didn't see the girl who wasn't meant to be. And though I vanished in your song, I stayed behind the whole ride long. Happen without weight, to one they pass another fate. And though you left without a trace, I memorized your laughing face. You'll never know I saw you there, and that's a truth I've come to bear. But in that pause, that halfway song, I found where I don't quite belong. So right ahead, I'll stay behind with stories you won't ever find. Same train, same air, but not the same, just girl without a spoken name. I said thanks and sugar wrap, handed sweet with nervous tap. Your fingers brushed, you gave a smile, then slid it in your desk a while. No unwrapping, no reply, just filed it where small things go die. I watched the drawer shut me down, still heard your voice, still saw the frown. You didn't drop it, didn't flinch, but sealed the space without a pinch. And that was worse than hearing no, it meant I'd stay but never glow. You took my thanks and put it low, where no one sees, where nothing grows. A kindness folded, tucked away, like it was too much for the day. And not an hour had passed in full before you smiled, relaxed and pulled a note, a charm of something bright for someone else beneath the light. You handed her a secret gift with ease, with grin, with subtle lift. And all the while my candy slept inside a space where I just wept. It wasn't wrong, it wasn't rude, but quiet truths are seldom crude. I gave you sweet, you gave me clean, a gesture placed but never seen. You didn't mean to leave me bare, but still I watched and still I cared. And while she smiled and said your name, I counted what you never claimed. You kept my sweet but gave your light to someone else without a fight. And though I tried to mean apart, I faded from your giving heart. That candy still inside your drawer, like silence carved into a floor. And now I know the bitter truth, not every gift is built for proof. vanish when unsaid. They live in wrappers never read, and every time you choose not me, that drawer echoes quietly. You didn't break, you didn't lie, but still I watch myself go by inside a desk behind a grin, where I was meant but didn't win. So next time sweetness meets my hand, I'll think of drawers and where I stand. You took my gift but gave a flame, and I'm just wrapped without a name. Books untouched, the pages blur, the window hums, the branches stir. I sit in shade where no one sees, above the field, above the breeze. You run below with wind and sun, your laughter sharp, your legs all run. And though I'm still in just one floor, you never glance up anymore. I trace your steps with quiet eyes, but nothing breaks those skyward ties. You're looking left, you're chasing sound, while I dissolve without a ground. I watched you from a window frame, the glass too thin to hold my name. You played your game, you didn't see the girl who wished you to look for me. No reason why you ever should, but part of me still thought you could. And in that light I felt it burn, the hope for just one upward turn. Your shirt was bright, your voice was clear, too far to call, too close to steer. And still I sat my book unread, with all the thoughts I never said. I didn't wave, I didn't dare, just counted ways to not seem there. But deep beneath that calm I show, I wished you'd glance and somehow know. They say the ones who see don't stare, but I just wish that you'd look there. Not through the glass, not through the crowd, just one small look to say aloud. I stayed behind the sunlit pane while you ran free across the plain. And though the spring was warm and wide, I felt the chill of being outside. You laughed with them, I smiled alone, a borrowed scene that felt like home. But in your world no chapter flipped, the glass remained, the moment slipped. Some days you wish to just exist in someone else's fleeting list, but if they never lift their gaze, you learn to fold in quieter ways. I watched from high, you stayed below, and never knew the quiet show. But even if our lines won't blend, I'll treasure what I can pretend. You didn't see, you didn't lift, but still you gave a nameless gift, a springtime frame I couldn't break, a heart that learned how not to ache. Across, head down, your pen the only kind of sound. We spoke in notes and questions dry, not once did laughter cross the sky. And every time our eyes would meet, it felt too sharp, too incomplete. So we just talked of page and point, no break, no warmth, no softer joint. Just study lines and test day plans, no slipping words, no touched out hands. And when the hour said it's done, you stood and left, no setting sun. See you light us hallway air like we were strangers briefly paired. But I had hope for more to grow than just a bye I'll never show. answers, not your thoughts. We swapped the facts, but not the spots. And though I stayed to share the time, you never crossed that second line. It wasn't cold, it wasn't mean, but left me faded in between, like someone halfway in a scene that ends before it's ever seen. You said good work and packed your case. No second look, no slow down pace. And all I had was desk and dust and hope that leaned too far on trust. The final word was see you then and not again or even when. Just like a line that sounds polite but ends the chapter out of sight. To read the tone, you kept it leveled sharp alone. We studied more than just the page, but you held back your quiet cage. And though we sat through ticking night, we left without the softer light. Doors close, the world in gray. 1,000 scenes that pass each day. I took my place, a window seat. 2 rows behind, too far to meet. You had your headphones in, head low. A rhythm only you could know. But then you smiled and took one out for someone else, no room for doubt. You didn't scan the crowd or turn, just met their gaze with quiet burn. And though I sat within your light, you never looked my way that night. Same train, same house, same quiet sway, but I was just a breath away. You left for them not knowing me, and that was all it had to be. No eye contact, no missed hello, just lights that passed and shadows slow. And even though we shared the track, your world kept drifting forward. I watch your shoulders shake in grin, the kind you say for those within. And though I wasn't part of that, I wore the moment like a hat, pretending just to check my phone, while feeling more and more unknown. The gap was small but wide as glass between your now and where I sat. I know you never saw me there, no reason why you'd even care. stage spotlight, routine steps left and right. He stood next, just one in line. But why'd my pulse break into rhyme? I scooped the side dish, fingers shake. He said thanks, was it real or fake? Big crushed breath, too fast to faint. My brain went static, my cheeks wore pain. Was it just polite or slightly more? He didn't smile like days before. Did it echo past the clatter sound? Or did it vanish in the lunchroom crowd? Tell me if you caught my code, wrapped in curry overload. Thank you bounced like loose cassette, somewhere in between now and yet. Could you feel the static cue, or was I just some trait to you? My heart served up a hidden song. Did you hum it once or move along? Cortex, I said. Forks like satellites, crashing pixel light. Half a second turns into neon burns. He picked the seat, not far, not close. I watched the steam from miso float. My mouth was full, but heart was clear. It pulsed in sync. Was he near? His voice was soft, the same old tone, but wrapped in bass lines not my own. Did he taste the thought I slipped, or was the frequency just clipped? Maybe kindness has delay, like signals lost in midday gray. I'm tuned to him, but out of range. On this channel, nothing's changed. Did my smile translate through tray, or did that thanks just fade away? Looping glitch where hope once played. Our voices missed or just delayed. Static blooms and sugar-free, a feeling I can't guarantee. But for one frame in this crowded noon, I danced in sync with your monsoon. Whisper folded in napkin notes. Was it nothing my silence wrote? You never looked, or maybe you did, but signals hide what mouths keep hid. Lunchtime static, my only truth. A golden tray, a midday proof. A thank you ricocheted inside. My blush and data misaligned. Tell me if this was all it is. A tray, a word, a thermal fizz. Why's my pulse still glitching red? Each time I serve what goes unsaid. The bell rang twice, I stayed behind. White noise buzzing through my spine. The mic began a static hum, and something told me don't play dumb. A name escaped like drifting smoke, not mine yet, close enough to choke. The song began, my ears turned glass. I shattered quietly in class. Was it a joke or was it fate? They said her name, I hesitate. Same last letter, same first sound, but not my name, still shook the ground. This song is not for me, yet it pressed against my memory, like hearing love from someone else, but feeling it like it's myself. I smiled like a broadcast light, waved goodbye from the inside. The melody was perfect too, but it skipped where I hoped they knew. To talk, same shoes squeak on the hallway walk. I can't hate her, she's too kind, but that name rewired my mind. Maybe he typed it on a dare, Or maybe she was always there. I'm not a ghost, I breathe, I blink, but still I fade before I think. They said her name in perfect pitch, and I the static in the switch. A whisper lost inside the chord, a page unturned, a love ignored. This track was wrapped in dreamlight hue, but none of it was meant for two. Just one the name inside the air. I almost heard him whisper there. I sang along like it was mine. Each lyric stabbed in perfect time. The bridge he built for someone else became my quiet cry for help. What if he meant me all along, but the DJ misread the song? What if that moment missed its cue, and fate just played it back askew? Wrong name but right frequency, still hit the wavelength inside me, like shadow dancing on a screen of someone else's vivid dream. If he forgot or never knew, I'll tune my heart to static too. Let her have the chorus part while I remix my broken heart. Dusk, our ships in evening tide. I anchor thoughts I've tried to hide. Notebook pages flap like wings, but silence never lets me sing. Sunset smears across the glass, chalk still whispers from the past. My pen's a needle on repeat, tracing truths I'd rather delete. Footsteps in the hallway bloom, laughter cuts across the room. Not to me, but close enough to slice through hope with velvet rough. He laughed like I was never there while I dissolved into the air. My name, a ghost in neon tone. He walked her home, I walked alone. I never needed much to break, just one skip beat, that's all it takes. Echoes bounce against my skin, I fold my notes and cave with. My pen still moves, but thought won't stay. The ink is slow, it leaks dismay. Their voices climb the stairwell light while I rewrite what felt so right. His back, a blur in Windows frame. No glance, no pause, no secret name. Did I expect too much too soon? The clock clicks loud, then drops to noon. Sometimes a smile's not for you, even when you want it to. The air gets thin in rooms like this, where noise becomes a silent twist. He laughed like I was made of air while I unraveled in my chair. No dramatic shattered sigh, just one small laughter passed me by. I told myself it wasn't cruel, just timing fate's unwritten rule. But still it rang, it wrapped, it stayed, and made the quiet feel replay. Was I too still, too dim to see? Or did I want what couldn't be? A scene that looked like maybe us, but blurred beneath fluorescent dust. He laughed and I forgot my line. The joke was hers, my loss not mine. But still the echo clung to me like songs stuck wrong in memory. Not hate, not love, not even rage, just turning quiet page by page until the dust, the air became the only ones who care. He ran like gravity, couldn't catch. Sweat and sunlight, perfect match. Shoes kicked dust in slow motion flare, and then he fell like fate laid bare. My knee twitch, breath held tight. Heart scream go, but froze mid-flight. The seconds stretched a silent test, but someone else had reached him best. I moved too slow, just half a beat. Another hand had claimed that seat. His laugh still rang, not out of pain, but not for me, not mine to gain. Almost ran, almost called, almost caught him when he stalled. But almost doesn't write the scene where someone else has stepped between. Almost brave, almost there, but almost floats in empty air. He didn't look, he didn't see my footstep lost in melody. Heartbeat cut and looped in twos. My courage glitched, he didn't lose, but I lost something I can't name. A frame that fades before the flame. She reached him fast like light through glass. No pause, no doubt, no second pass. They laughed, they brushed off grass in pride, while I just stood and watched them ride. The moment died without a sound. My steps dissolved into the ground. One motion missed, one reflex gone. Now she's the verse, I'm just the song. Was it choice or just delay? Would he have smiled if I'd obeyed? Regret plays back in 4K blur, where I'm the frame that won't occur. Almost meant to be the one, almost reached before the sun, but almost isn't holding hands, is standing still on shifting sands. Almost mattered, almost right, but someone else had read it right. He didn't flinch, he didn't know, I buried it in undertow. Shreds fall like steps not taken. Tempo drops like hearts mistaken. I saw the script but missed my cue. One frame too late, she played it through. Now all I hear's the fading cheers while I rewrite invisible years. Almost ran, almost brave, almost something he could save, but silence won the loudest prize, and now I'm just a pair of eyes. Almost wrote the ending true, but someone else had held his view, and when he stood, she stood beside, while I erased the step I tried. Scroll, tap, stop, the screen turns cold. A sunset scene in amber gold. That sky, I saw it just last week. Same bench, same tree, same pastel streak. But then her shadow in the frame, not blurred, not cropped, not signed with shame. It should have been the two of us, but now I'm just the loss he trust. Did he wait until I left, or was it planned, a silent theft? The caption smiled in quiet code while I just watched the story load. He captured the same light I breathed, but not with me. twisted fate. He posed to prove for where I've been, but played the part I didn't win. We shared that out in parallel. He shot a truth I couldn't tell. The same soft wind that touched my skin now frames a smile that isn't mine within. Was I a ghost beside that tree? A glitch inside his memory? Did he forget or just replace my shadow with her laughing face? I wasn't tagged, I wasn't there, but every pixel screams I care. The light I loved, the sky I saved, he gave to her and walked away. He caught the moment perfectly, but wrote her into history like I was just a passing cloud, not worth the frame, not worth the loud. The quiet hour I thought we shared, now posted, edited, compare. She took the pose I almost tried and smiled while something in me died. Maybe I was always cropped, a silent footstep never stopped. He posted proof, she took the light. I fade like stories after night. Same sun, same breeze, same subtle glow, but now I'm just the shadow show. He clicked the shutter, blinked me gone, while I still hum our phantom song. If memories are filtered dreams, then I was lost between the screens, and all I asked was, did you see? But he framed her without me. Hey, paper rustled in my sleeve. Steps too soft, hard on my teeth. A simple task, just drop and leave. But fate had drawn a sharper wreath. He stood inside the open frame. His smile intact, his tone the same. But next to him, she matched his pace. And I dissolved without a trace. He didn't flinch, he didn't turn. The hallway lights began to burn. And I slowed my breath, erased my sound, and let my presence not be found. I was there, but chose to bend like soft reverb that won't offend. He didn't know, and that was best, so I became a silent guest. He smiled at her, not out of place, while I rewrote my walking pace. The steps I took, I'll never hear, but they still echo near my ear. I turned the corner like a ghost. No gas, no shout, no almost close. The folder in my hand was warm, but colder thoughts began to swarm. Was she the reason he stayed late, or just another twist of fate? I asked the floor, but it stayed mute while time rewound and tape cut loops. I could have called, I could have waved, but some truths aren't meant to be saved. So I walked on and kept the lie that I was never passing by. I left no noise, I left no mark, but something cracked beneath the dark. He didn't see, and that was kind, so I erased what he won't find. The moment passed like fading glue, while silence stuck like something new. And though he never turned to see, he carries footsteps made by me. Maybe love's not saying stay, but stepping back and walking away. He smiled without me in the scene, so I deleted what could have mean. I was there but stayed unknown, like home notes played on dial tones. I left before the ending dropped, so feelings froze and silence popped. He didn't turn and I let go of all I hoped he'd somehow know. Not every sound is meant to last, some echo best when walking back. He sketched in corners, lost in line, while class moved on like ticking time. A curl, a bang, a tilt of head, a pose that tugged the thread I'd shed. That hair it bent like mine would fall. A glance away, I felt it call. For one quick breath, my pulse betrayed what hope and graph I gently made. I stared too long, then looked away, afraid my smile might give me away. But pages flipped and then I saw a truth that hollowed out my jaw. It looked like me, but keep. For anyone he speaks to plain, so why did I expect the same? Was it just posture, just the hue, the same soft shape that shadows through? I matched the hairstyle, not the face. He drew her into my erased. Maybe he sees with artist grace a face he wants, not face and place. And I just brushed too near the flame, mistook the sketch for someone's name. It felt like me until the chin, where someone else had always been. The smile curved with gentle pride that I've never worn, though I've tried. She lives in margins I can't fill, in strokes too patient, clean and still. He didn't mean for me to see, but now she's framed instead of me. I traced the edge and met the void, a dream I hadn't yet destroyed. She's not a girl, she's what he drew, and I mistook the if for true. He sketched a girl with perfect grace, but never once looked up to trace the real one sitting 2 seats near, still drawing hope he wouldn't hear. If art reflects what hearts can't say, then mine just smudged and blew away. Not every line is meant to stay, but mine was missed in every way. Line up straight, we start the count. The sun too loud, the breath too mount. He stood ahead, just half a space, but not once did he see my face. I matched the moves, the time to swing, pretend that I could feel something, but every stretch his eyes would dart to someone else away from start. We shared the beat, the steps, the frame, but not one thread that felt the same. His shoulders moved like I was there, like I was just a number there, only a number in the line, just part of someone else's time. You stood so close but looked away and left me voiceless in the play. I wasn't seen, I wasn't wrong, just filler in the morning song. You needed to, you found a pair, but never once knew I was there. You called the count, I echoed late, like someone trying to translate, but still I moved. I hit each cue like those pretending they were two. The whistle blew, the rows reformed, but I stayed trapped in quiet storm. You turned to leave and that was it, just one more role where I don't fit. You never meant to leave me blank, but sometimes hearts just walk the plank. You never looked, you didn't flinch, and still that gap began to pinch. Only a number, never name. You moved through me and left no flame. I reached, I bent, I held the pose while watching you not even close. I stood right there, I matched your tone, but somehow felt more lost, more alone. You called the move, but not the me, and I dissolved in symmetry. I wasn't late, I didn't hide, but you still passed me from the side. And though we moved in perfect sync, you never gave a single blink. Only a number, that's the truth. No face, no light, no name, no proof. I stood so near, but never felt like anything but someone down. A warm-up set, a practice drill, but I'm the one you couldn't fill. You had a pair, but not a clue that I was real and right near you. After class, the hallway dim, I held the chalk with trembling whim. One sentence wrote itself so slow. His name, his day, my quiet glow. I left it high in slanted lines, a birthday wish in tiny signs. No heart like a chant. And though it's gone, I still recall the shape of feeling on that wall. Erased overnight, and that's the end. No closure, wrap, no chance to mend. Just blackboard breath and shadow hue of what I couldn't say to you. I gave my heart in powdered white, but it was gone before daylight. A vanished line, a wordless cry, and still I never said goodbye. He stood there, hands a little lost, a bookless desk, a tiny cost. He glanced around and spoke so low. Can I see yours, soft and slow? My heart jumped first, my breath withdrew, like maybe this was breaking through. I turned, half smile, half unsaid, but his eyes passed just past my head. He leaned to her, not even far, a motion thin as falling star. And all the light I tried to hold fell back into a shape gone cold. Wasn't for me, though I was near. The words I wanted weren't for ear. They floated past and landed clean in someone else's unseen scene. I held my breath, then looked away, pretending it was just okay. But all that rose inside my chest just dropped like books that won't be guessed. She smiled back and shared her page, while I just turned to act my age, like it was nothing, like I knew. But truth was sharp and cut straight through. He didn't mean to pass me by, but still I flinched behind my why. A line so small, a glance so wide, and I was left on other side. You didn't lie, you didn't choose, but still I felt like I would bruise. A single word, not even mine, could split the desk into a line. Wasn't for me, though I had hoped. You tied the thread, then pulled the rope. I watched you speak and not to me, and heard the echo quietly. A tiny line, a casual ask, but I had cracked beneath the mask. You reached across my empty space and missed my eyes without a trace. You didn't know what I had thought, you didn't know what I had sought, but still I curled around the sound that fell just short, that hit no ground. Wasn't for me, but I still heard the way you laced that single word. You didn't mean to leave me bare, but silence sat beside my chair. You, as she smiled, you shared the view, while I stayed still, not part of you. It wasn't cruel, it just was true, and I dissolved in what you didn't do. The morning hum, the chairs still scrape. My breath drew in, my voice took shape. A simple line, 3 syllables, but hearts can crack from minimal. He crossed the room in open speed. His laughter trailed like falling seed. I raised My desk was close, my courage thin, but still I tried to let him in. He didn't mean to brush me through, but even ghosts deserve a cue. I watched him fold into the group while I just held my quiet loop. He called out names, just not my own, and left my voice to stand alone. It wasn't cruel, it wasn't cold, but sometimes warm still leaves you old. You tossed your smile like morning sun, but mine fell flat before begun. My good morn had no home, just floated up and turned to foam. You didn't see the way I braved to speak before my doubt engraved. I gave a part you'll never know and let it scatter in the glow. You turned your back, the moment broke, and I inhaled what I just spoke. Some greetings fall like autumn air. They touch no one, they go nowhere. And still I speak like hope might stay, but you just laughed and walked away. My good morning, soft and shy, still echoes where the ceilings lie. You heard the world but not my sound, and left my name without a ground. So I sit down, I fold my hands while watching where your voice still lands. I tried to shine, I tried to be, but good morning just skipped me.
The desk were moved, the light was soft. Laughter rose, the chatter coughed. We lined up close, a final shot to freeze the day we all forgot. He stood 3 feet across my line. I caught his voice, not quite mine. And when the shutter called our cue, his peace sign flew, but not to view. I looked ahead, I smiled too, but not for me, not him, not true. His grin was tilted, aim so clear towards someone standing far from here. In the same frame, but not the same. I wore a smile without a name. He posed for her with ease, with grace, while I just faded into space. No one saw how I stood still while something soft began to spill. He didn't know, he didn't see that I was lost in pixel freeze.
GG's 1 2 peace sign.
The photo saved, the moment stayed, but not the parts I wish had frayed. I zoomed it in, I knew the truth. He never saw me in that booth. 100 smiles, one silent crack. My eyes said more, he can't look back. I'm in the shot, but not the scene. Just background blur and jelly bean. They'll tag us all, they'll post the glow, but never guess the undertow. He posed for fun, I froze in flame. We shared a frame, not claim to name. In the same frame, but miles apart. He looked right past my waiting heart. I didn't blink, I didn't sway, but I still shattered anyway. A hand held up a piece so light, but not for me, not in that sight. We laughed as one, but only played, and I dissolved in what we made.
「 His desk meet the sunlight thin, a quiet corner tucked within. Just books and pens and open spaces, and something small with cursive grace. A folded note, a paper slip, half hidden like a secret trip. I wasn't meant to see the line, but still I read what crossed the spine. With giant hay and pencil gray, a name not mine, just placed that way. No hearts, no frills, no grand display, but still enough to strip my day. Not addressed to me, but clear enough. A line too soft, a tone too tough. You never wrote my name that way, and now I know you never may. The note was small, the break was loud inside. I vanished through the crowd. He didn't know, he didn't see, but that one name, a name I need. I turned away before it burned, but still the letters slowly churned. The paper whispered all too much of hands that passed in quiet touch. It wasn't hate, it wasn't cruel, just proof I wasn't in the rule. You gave a note, you shared a word, and I became the one unheard. You didn't mean to let me break, but silence still can feel like fake. You didn't hide, you didn't lie, but now I know where hearts don't try. Not addressed to me, but still I shook, like every dream was just mistook. You scribbled hope, just not for mine, and drew the line in ink design. I smiled once I looked away. I left the truth to rot and stay. No confrontation, no goodbye, just paper cut across the sky. Some words don't shout, they just appear, and in one name I disappeared. He wrote it light, but it still weighed like everything I never said. Not addressed to me, that's all it took to close the page and burn the book. No need for speeches, just a glance at someone else's written chance. You gave your thoughts to someone true, and now I know it's not me, you. A name, a note, a passing breeze, and I collapsed with silent ease. His desk meet the sunlight thin, a quiet corner tucked within. Just books and pens and open spaces, and something small with cursive grace. A folded note, a paper slip, half hidden like a secret trip. I wasn't meant to see the line, but still I read what crossed the spine. With giant hay and pencil gray, a name not mine, just placed that way. No hearts, no frills, no grand display, but still enough to strip my day. Not addressed to me, but clear enough. A line too soft, a tone too tough. You never wrote my name that way, and now I know you never may. The note was small, the break was loud inside. I vanished through the crowd. He didn't know, he didn't see, but that one name, a name I need. I turned away before it burned, but still the letters slowly churned. The paper whispered all too much of hands that passed in quiet touch. It wasn't hate, it wasn't cruel, just proof I wasn't in the rule. You gave a note, you shared a word, and I became the one unheard. You didn't mean to let me break, but silence still can feel like fake. You didn't hide, you didn't lie, but now I know where hearts don't try. Not addressed to me, but still I Some words don't shout, they just appear. And in one name I disappeared. He wrote it light, but it still weighed like everything I never said. Not addressed to me, that's all it took to close the page and burn the book. No need for speeches, just a glance at someone else's written chance. You gave your thoughts to someone true, and now I know it's not me, you. A name, a note, a passing breeze, and I collapsed with silent ease. Rain tapped soft on concrete grate. My bag soaked through in quiet sway. The crowd moved on in hoods and steam, and I just drifted through the gleam. Then came his voice, a gentle spark. Forgot your umbrella, crisp and stark. It caught my breath, it warmed my chest like someone saw my quiet mess. I turned too fast, a smile half formed. My heart rose up, the chill transformed. But then she laughed and stepped ahead, and all that hope just dropped like lead. Wasn't me, he saw the rain, but not the one who stood in pain. His words felt light but missed my name, and left me freezing just the same. I clutched my bag, I faced the stream, while she walked under shared daydreams. He never meant to blur the line, but I was soaked and not quite mine. His hand reached out, not toward my skin. The tilt of kindness wore too thin. One syllable could break the storm, but I just watched it skip the form. I wasn't wrong to think it right, to hope my shadow met his light, but still his gaze passed through my face like I was error, just a trace. You spoke a line you didn't aim, but still it burned without my name. A question, kind of tone, sincere to someone standing not right here. Wasn't me, that's all it took to close the page before I looked. You held her sleeve and I held rain, and walked through silence down the lane. You never knew how close I stood, or that your words had felt like good. You left a note that skipped my part, and carved your care through someone's heart. You didn't lie, you didn't guess, but still I folded in my chest. The rain kept falling, she stayed dry, and I just let the world pass by. Wasn't me, though I was there. My soaked outline, the dripping air. You touched a world I didn't claim, while I dissolved beneath my name. One question shared, one look too small, and I just faded through it all. You walked with her beneath the tree, and I stayed lost, it wasn't me.
Saw you walking toward the red, bending light where silence bled. I timed my steps, rehearsed a line, pretending fate had drawn the sign. You reached your hand, I slowed my pace. My heart rehearsed a halfway face, but then you paused and gently smiled and moved away retreat. No space to talk, no look too long. Just one soft push that felt so wrong. Just go ahead, that's what you said, and left me speaking in my head. You didn't mean to make it sting, but silence shouted everything. A drink dropped down, a heart stood still, while you walked off beyond the hill. You gave me place, but not the chance to even try a second glance. You first wait, gone. I stood and picked the coldest can, while echo footsteps broke the plan. You thought it kind, you thought it neat, to give the line then just retreat. I watched your back then press the code, like every word I should have showed was cancelled by that gentle smile that turned me into just a while. You didn't see the build-up bloom, the way I crafted that small room of almost touch and maybe luck, but all I got was please go duck. Just go ahead, and so I did, with all my colors slowly hid. You didn't see the silence
was loud in all this quiet in this crowd. You didn't flinch, you didn't guess that I still live inside that mess. Just brooms and shoes and hallway shine, but I replay it all the time. You left no mark, no memory, but I called it eternity. Sometimes the moments that we keep are made where others barely sleep, and I still walk that stretch alone where you stood but never known me specialty, and that's enough. Though it still hurts, it's still tough. You didn't know, you couldn't see the way those minutes carried me. So go ahead, forget the floor, forget the day, forget the door, but I'll remember where we stood.